Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to whenever you happen to be listening, and welcome to the very first episode of the Fourth Inning Podcast, where four friends talk about their one love for sports. Today's episode includes 5 segments that will all be centered around Major League Baseball. I'm now going to give the floor to Matt, as he will give you guys a recap of the past week in the sports world.
I am proud to bring you all the first segment of the Fourth Inning Podcast, This Week in Sports, where I review everything that has happened in the sports world in the last 7 days. First, we travel to South Korea to look at the Korean Baseball Organization. Many of these games have been televised in the early morning on ESPN. The NC Dinos are off to a hot start with an 11-1 record and a 7-game winning streak. The LG Twins are in a distant second at 8-4, followed by the hot Kiwoom Heroes, who have jumped to third at 8-5. The SK Weaverns can't catch a break with a 1-11 record and a 10-game losing streak. Jose Fernandez leads the KBO with a .479 batting average, and former Astro, Blue Jay, Brave, and Red Preston Tucker leads the KBO with 5 home runs. Now we move to NASCAR. The Darlington Raceway hosted the Real Heroes 400 on Sunday, the first race since COVID. Kevin Harvick picks up his first win of the season, leading 159 of the 293 laps. Alex Bowman came in second place and Kurt Busch came in third. Now we move on to horse racing. Sunday was the opening day at Churchill Downs, joining other parks around the country and holding races with no crowd. All races at Churchill Downs are nationally televised on America's Day at the Races. Now we hop the pond to Germany for Bundesliga soccer. 9 matches have been played since the Bundesliga restarted play, but with empty stadiums. The biggest match was Dortmund vs Schalke, with Dortmund winning 4-0. Rafael Guerreiro was the key to Dortmund's victory, scoring twice in minutes 45 and 63. This win keeps Dortmund in second place and well within striking distance of first place Bayern. Now, lastly, and my favorite, the ACL, the American Cornhole League. There were qualifiers all this week, but the main event was on Saturday, when the ACL singles and doubles championships were on the line. The winner of the singles was Eddie Grinderslav, and the winners of the doubles was Lester Price and Jay Rubin. And now I pass it off to my friend Tristan for Let's Rank It.
This is Let's Rank It, and it is where we rank the top players, coaches, and teams. Today we're talking about the best player at each position in MLB history. To start, we will go with pitchers, and I have Roger Clemens.
I got Nolan Ryan.
I got Randy Johnson.
I'm going to go with a bit of a hot take here. I'm going with Christy Mathewson.
I like Blake's.
How is that a hot take?
I like Blake's pick there.
Many people think that it's a hot take, quite frankly, because you don't think of an old pitcher as the best.
Well, Roger Clemens is a hot take.
A bit.
It is, but
I mean, you can't really argue with Christy Mathewson. He won 30 games 4 times and won 20 games 9 times.
I mean, back then, they'd throw anyone on the mound back-to-back days. You got a lot more
yeah,
chances.
that is true.
No.
You still facing elite hitters like Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb.
That's very true, but you get more wins, I think.
Yeah, but
wins
you
aren't
obviously
as
are going to
valuable.
get better stats if you pitch more.
Yeah.
More wins, more strikeouts.
Okay. And he also did pitch 17 seasons, and he had an ERA of under 2 in 5 of them.
He's up there.
He's up there, but he's not. All right, next at catcher, I have Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench.
Hands down, Johnny Bench.
Then at first base, I have Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig.
I got Stan the Man.
Stan the Man.
Not bad.
Not bad. Top 5.
Yeah.
Not number 1. Gotta be Lou.
Yeah, definitely Lou. And at second base, this is a hot take, and I have Rod Carew.
Joe Morgan. All day.
I wouldn't put Rod Carew in my top 5, honestly.
I feel like
I have Rogers Hornsby.
It's hard to say that
Hornsby.
Joe Morgan isn't the best second baseman. He's the definition of a 5-tool
He's the top
player.
2. He's top 2.
I feel like it's either him or Rod.
I'm not sure.
To me personally, that's what I think.
Morgan could do everything that any position player needs to do.
Exactly. He was the original 5-tool player.
That's very true.
At third base, I have Mike Schmidt.
Yeah, I have Mike Schmidt.
I got George Brett.
Jinxie.
Very underrated player.
Underrated.
Yes, he is very underrated.
George Brett is.
Yeah.
The dude was a maniac, but he could play ball.
Bit of a nut job.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
He tried to fight that up. Come here.
He wanted it.
All right, next at shortstop, I have Ripken Jr.
I also have Ripken.
Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken.
That 2,600 straight game
Consistency.
played.
Yeah.
That will never be broken.
Yeah, you gotta respect consistency.
That will always be in the record books. No one's
Always.
breaking that.
And finally, at outfield, I have Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, and Ty Cobb.
I think Barry Bonds is a stretch, but
He didn't have a glove. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I got Willie Mays, of course, Babe Ruth, and Ty Cobb.
I have Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, and Hank Aaron.
I have
Ooh, that's
Ty Cobb,
Aaron.
Babe Ruth, and Willie Mays. So I'm with Josh. on
Hank
this one.
Aaron would be my
We all
four.
have Babe Ruth.
no, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
That's
No,
a
I
hot
didn't.
take.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Man,
He's fourth for me.
Barry Bonds.
fourth in
Fourth?
the outfield.
Barry Bonds
In front of
over
Barry
over
Bonds?
Babe
Barry
Ruth.
Yeah.
Bonds over Babe Ruth.
Really?
That's
I don't know.
That's a new one.
That
I would
is-
put Hank Aaron at 4. I would put Hank Aaron at 4 after Ty Cobb.
Yeah.
So
He's
I
up
think-
there.
Yeah,
He's up there.
he's
I
up.
think it's close.
Well, it's just what you value. Do you value home runs or hits?
That's true.
True. After the break, Blake will take over with the next segment, This or That.
Welcome back to the Fourth Inning Podcast. This is the segment, This or That, where I give you 2 scenarios, coaches, players, etc., and you choose between them. First question is, who got more screwed, Pete Rose or Shoeless Joe Jackson?
I'm going Pete Rose
Yeah,
on this one.
Me too.
I
I'm
would say
Pete Rose.
I don't know. Pete Rose did something wrong.
Well, what Pete Rose didn't affect the game. What Shoeless Joe Jackson and the 1919 White Sox did affected not just the game, but the whole World Series.
But it's not the whole team. It's just what he did.
What Shoeless Joe
I'm not
Jackson
talking
did.
about the whole team got screwed because they did, and they did something wrong. But Shoeless Joe Jackson got screwed because he couldn't read.
But once again, it did affect the game. And
But what he did didn't.
but when you look at this, when you look at the Astros right now, all of the Astros are getting punished, and maybe not all the Astros cheated and listened to the trash cans.
That's very true.
It's not like you can't just say that they didn't listen to the.
You
trash
can't
can.
exempt someone from punishment just because they were a very good baseball player.
And even people on different teams, Alex Cora, Red Sox manager, he was fired.
Yep.
Carlos Beltran, bullpen coach for the Mets, or not bullpen, sorry. Not bullpen.
He's gonna be manager, right?
No, yeah, he was manager.
Yeah.
He was manager for the Mets, and he was fired. So there was an effect for it for not just the players, but former coaches and staff.
Yeah, I mean,
Pete Rose did get screwed. He's
oh.
one of the best players of all time. But
the kicker between Joe Jackson and Pete Rose is Pete Rose bet on his own team.
Yeah.
Like, he was betting on the Reds to win. What Joe Jackson and the White Sox were doing, they were literally trying to lose. They were selling out to criminals.
That's the rest of the team.
Okay, and you still
Who's
get punished for what you
who's to say
did.
that he wasn't actually playing? He wasn't playing like that to the best of his ability.
I don't know. Were you there to watch him?
Were you?
I wasn't, but I'm just going off from what everyone knows. And by the way, tell the White Sox thank you for the free World Series. Go Reds, come on.
All right, moving on.
I got Pete.
All right, next question. 98 Yankees or 75 Reds?
I like the Reds.
75
gotta go
Reds.
Big
Yankees.
Red machine.
Gotta go Yankees.
That infield-
Yankees.
That,
Yeah.
that Hall of Fame
Yankees.
infield is.
Yeah, big,
It's great,
Big Red
but
Machine is hard to
The
beat.
Yankees just
Yeah.
Rivera.
I find it kind of crazy. The 8-hitter, Davey Concepcion for the Reds, had a 281 batting average. You don't see an 8-hitter with a 281 batting average.
No, you don't.
That's unheard of.
You don't see a 3-hitter anymore. They're all hitting 250 with 50 home runs.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Yeah. All right, next question. Nolan Ryan or Randy Johnson?
Nolan
Ryan,
Yo,
yeah.
for
Probably,
sure.
probably
Oh,
Nolan
yes.
Ryan.
I'm going Nolan Ryan. Legendary pitcher.
It is that time of the episode, the joke of the week, where a bell is rang at a random point of the episode and I tell a joke.
Let's
This
do it.
week's joke: why is it so hard to steal third base?
Why?
Because you have to go through a shortstop.
Oh, no. Wow. Inspirational
Yeah,
stuff.
slapper.
Inspirational
great.
stuff right there, Matt. Thank you, man.
Oh, I busted
All
a gun
right.
at that one.
That was good, man.
Thank you, Matt, for that awful joke. All right, next.
I would have to debate with that one.
Oh, wow. Let's see you
All
come up
right,
with one.
going back to the segment. Sad or decade, Orioles or Tigers?
Orioles, for sure.
Yeah, I'm saying the Orioles.
Tigers were
I'm going Tigers on this one.
Tigers were legit
Oh.
beginning of the decade.
Tigers were legit for a while, but when you look at the fall off, man, it's
But
awful.
what about the Orioles? Where was
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
where was
They've
their
never been
rise up?
anywhere.
They've always been at the bottom.
Well,
Yeah.
they did make the
Two-
postseason.
290
The Tigers went
seasons.
to 4 postseasons.
Only two
Yeah.
91 se-
but
91
their fall off
seasons.
was honestly
They had
heavier
Miguel
than
Cabrera
the-
that won the Triple Crown.
Yeah, but their fall off, they went from the best team in baseball looking to win the World Series to nobody in almost 2 years.
I would not say 2 years.
No.
I mean, the
Definitely
Orioles
The
went
Orioles
from
have been
89
the bottom of baseball
Detroit
for
is-
For years.
Detroit
Orioles-
is
Almost the whole decade.
It's debatable, but the Tigers may be the most irrelevant team in baseball history.
Oh,
No.
I mean, the Orioles
that's tough
went
because
from 80,
they're newer teams.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Too
the
hard.
Orioles had their year. I mean, that year where Encarnacion hit the walk-off home run in the wild card. That was probably about it. Tigers had a 2011 and 2014 where they were a grand slam away from Big Papi from making the
Yeah.
World Series.
Yep.
The
They were
Orioles
Big Poppy. Yeah,
are a
of course,
close
Big
second.
Poppy,
I
one of the
agree that
greats.
they're a close second, but I think the Tigers pulled this one out by
No.
a half a
No,
length, a half a stride.
47
I would
and
put them-
115 record is
I would put the Marlins.
it's not getting it done.
Marlins over the Tigers.
Really?
To be honest, yes, because
That is-
Yeah.
yeah,
the
that
roster
is-
they had. And
Yeah,
what
but the
so
they-
much
Reds
potential.
No,
So much potential.
the Tigers traded away good players too, like Jose Iglesias.
But
and
they didn't
my
trade
good
Christian
friend
Yelich.
Eugenio Suarez.
They didn't trade away
And
MVP.
they didn't trade
the best
trade away
catcher in
Giancarlo
the best
Stanton,
catcher in baseball.
Marcelo Zuna.
I think Suarez is going to be an MVP candidate the next 5 years.
That's random.
It's close.
No, yeah.
Close.
It's kind of
I
related.
mean, he'd be
Okay.
up there, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
Let's move on.
But
Okay.
yeah, I got Orioles, and
All right,
I would
for
even throw the
sure.
Marlins
Yeah,
up
I'm
there.
saying Orioles.
I would put Marlins over Tigers, to be honest.
All right, final question. Who deserved the MVP last year, Bellinger or Yelich?
Bellinger deserved it. I mean, obviously he played the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think if Yelich didn't get hurt, he would have won it. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
only
Yeah.
3 home
For
runs.
sure.
He was only had 3 less home runs. He had a higher batting average, and he had more stolen bases.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Bellinger obviously
sure.
deserves it because he played the whole
He
year.
played
You
that
can't
full
take it away.
season. He would have won.
Bellinger
Yeah.
played a
You,
lead all
you
year.
can't take away what Bellinger did. He had a great season, but I feel like if Christian Yelich played all 162
Yeah,
games, he would
I
have
agree.
done.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
They're both
better.
great players.
Yeah.
Both great
Yeah.
players.
All right, now I'm going to hand it off to Josh with start, bench, cut.
Alrighty, welcome to Start Bench Cut, where I'm going to give you guys 3 players, and you're almost going to be a manager in a sense, where you're going to start one, you're going to bench one, and you're going to cut the other. So we're going to start behind the plate with catchers. We got Mitch Garver from Minnesota, Gary Sanchez, and Wilson Ramos, 2 catchers out of New York. So I'm going to start Mitch Garver, I'm going to bench Gary Sanchez, and I'm going to cut Wilson Ramos. Although Sanchez did hit more home runs, he did play in a very hitter-friendly ballpark, and his defense is very poor, so I like Garver to start.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Garver
I
could
agree.
be better.
100%.
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're going to move up the line to first base now. I got Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, and Matt Olson. So I'm gonna start the best first baseman in baseball, Freddie Freeman. I'm gonna
Yep.
bench Pete
Oh, yeah.
Alonso, and I'm gonna cut Matt Olson, even though I think it's really close between the two. But
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's
Yeah.
the definite starter.
For
Yeah,
sure.
but
For
Pete
sure.
Alonso-
Olson's got a
Oh,
ton
yeah.
of potential.
I like Olson off the
Yeah,
Alonso off the
underrated.
bench. Yeah.
But
I'm going
Pete
to
Alonso.
cut Pete Alonso.
Why?
I don't think he'll produce like he did. If you look at his college and minor league stats, he hit over 250 just a handful of times. With
But-
no power either.
But you're looking at what he's doing against Major
Yeah,
League hitting as a rookie.
Major League
It's
pitching
different.
is
Is
better.
Major League pitcher easier than minor league pitching? That doesn't make sense. Why would his batting average and home runs
But-
be
but if
higher
he can
here? than
produce-
Because
bases?
he's
if he can
you
produce
improve.
against major league pitchers,
Does he improve 40 plus home runs in 1 year?
apparently.
Just that doesn't happen.
Well,
I'm
Matt,
expecting
he's
a
obviously not
sophomore
gonna. He's
slump.
obviously not
I'm
gonna hit
expecting
90.
I'm expecting a sophomore slump.
How many home
Okay,
runs do you think he's gonna
maybe.
hit? How many home runs do you think he's gonna hit?
27.
Okay.
Well,
I mean-
no.
I mean, I'd probably put him 40 to 43.
Oh,
Yeah,
40 to
I don't think
43.
I'm saying like 44,
he's not gonna
45.
be up where-
No power
He's not
stats
gonna
in the
hit-
minors.
He's not going to do what he did last year, but he's still going to have above average.
I mean,
season.
rookie or not, 50 plus home runs is
Yeah,
that's
I don't
very
care who
good.
you are.
Yeah, that
That's
is
very
really good.
good.
Yeah.
The most home runs he ever hit in the minors was under.
The matters.
was under
Minors
18.
doesn't
Okay,
matter.
Minor league pitchers are easier than major league pitchers. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yeah, but he hit 50
So
plus
what's
against
your
major league
point? So
pitchers.
what's your point?
Because he can
He's
do it against
improving.
major
He's getting
leagues.
better.
Does he improve that much in 1 year though?
Apparently.
He did.
Apparently he did. He just did.
There's no way he can stay consistent like that. I don't.
Well,
see,
he's
I don't think
obviously
there's
not
a
going to hit
chance.
90 home runs next year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're
I
not
mean, how
saying
much
he's
better
going to
can
hit
he
90.
get?
I'm
How
just
much better can he
saying,
get?
50 home runs. It was a good year. I don't think he can reply. I don't think he can replicate.
I don't think
it.
he will
I-
either.
he's not gonna-
but
I don't think he's gonna
he'll be
replicate
down. I don't think he'll fall that much.
Yeah.
I think he will. Sophomore
Definitely
slump. Then he'll
not.
come back to it. He'll
half,
be a good
basically half.
mid-20s to mid-30s home run hitter a year.
For the rest of his career.
For
I mean, I wouldn't argue.
first
I
prime,
wouldn't
yeah.
argue. I wouldn't argue with 30.
All right. All right.
No.
I don't think he'll hit 50 every year.
No. I think.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Once teams start getting film on him, know what pitches he likes. I think they'll avoid that. But we're gonna move on to second base now. We got Ketel Marte, DJ LeMahieu, and Jose Altuve. So even with the scandal, I like Altuve as a starter. I think he's elite. He can't really talk much with the organization what they did for him. But I would start Altuve. I would bench LeMahieu, and I would cut Marte, even though I think Marte has a lot of potential. He's going to be a stud in this league. I mean, he already is, but I like LeMahieu.
I agree. I agree with the
Yep,
list.
me too. With all of it.
I'm gonna cut out Tuve.
Wow.
I'm doing this mainly for personal reason because the Astros cheating scandal, and honestly, I don't think he hit as good on the road as he did at home. Maybe because he was using the trash cans. Next year,
even before last year.
Yeah.
This year for sure.
Previous years, he's still been
This year for sure will be the year that defines really what I think about him as a for the start bench cut.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I
very
just
fair.
think his reputation will be tarnished forever because of the cheating scandal, and many people doubt his abilities because of it.
Yeah.
Well.
All right, so I got some shortstops. I got Francisco Lindor, Javier Baez, and Trevor Story. This one's kind of easy to me. I like Lindor as a starter. Then I would bench Trevor Story, even though I think he's very underrated, but I think Lindor's the better shortstop.
Yep.
I would cut Javi Baez.
Yes.
I agree. Javi Baez had his year.
Yeah, just that
Just not producing
one
like
year.
he did.
Yeah.
I
Trevor Story is very underrated.
Yeah.
One of the best gloves. One of the best bats at the position.
All right, now we got some third basemen, in my opinion, 3 best in baseball. Anthony Rendon, Nolan Arenado, and Matt Chapman. I like Arenado as a starter, and I'm gonna bench Matt Chapman, even though I think Rendon and Chapman are very close. I like Chapman's ability on the field more than Rendon, and I like his bat a little bit more. So, I got
I
Arenado,
agree with
Chapman, Rendon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a good one right
For
there.
sure.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got another third base matchup. I got Justin Turner from the Dodgers, Josh Donaldson, and Jose Ramirez. So I'm gonna start Justin Turner, and I think Donaldson and Ramirez are close, but I'm gonna bench Ramirez. I like him as a switch hitter.
Yep.
And I'm gonna cut Donaldson.
For sure. Cut
I think I'd
Donaldson.
keep Donaldson, start Turner,
I think,
cut
I
Ramirez.
think it's close. But
This is a bit of a
Very
hot
cool.
take, but I'd start Donaldson.
really,
Why?
Yeah.
Really?
Why?
Glove.
over
His
Turner.
glove.
Over Turner.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like his glove
Right.
and his power.
Not bad.
I think he's a solid corner infielder, and I'd
just-
start him over Turner.
I don't
know.
think he's where he
I
is-
think
he
Turner's
was at a
had
couple
some.
years ago.
Yeah, I agree, but
Yeah.
I think he's still.
I think Justin
pretty.
Turner's
I
just
think he's
getting
still
better.
better than Turner.
Donaldson and the Blue Jays will always be the best Donaldson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's still very good.
I'm
so-
expecting a big year out of Josh Donaldson this year.
Really? All right, we're going to move into right field now. We got Mookie Betts, Christian Yelich, and Aaron Judge. This one's also kind of easy to me. I got Yelich. I would start Yelich. I mean, if he's healthy, he's an MVP last year.
Yep.
Mookie Betts, I would
Right,
bench,
whatever
and I would cut Judge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Betts
For
all
sure.
around player.
For
Yeah.
sure. Cut
I
Judge.
don't like
for
the,
sure.
I don't like the Yankees.
Well, me
I
neither. But
agree with the list.
Aaron Judge is a very good player.
Yeah,
But
He's
That's
either
fine.
home run or strikeout.
I agree with the list, but I'm gonna have a hard time sitting Betts, one of the best players in the game.
over Yelich, would you play him over Yelich?
I'm just not gonna play him over Yelich right now though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's more of like a.
But any other position,
Oh,
I know
yeah,
what
yeah,
else
yeah.
I'm starting him.
Yeah. All right, now we got Juan Soto, George Springer, and Whit Merrifield. I do think Whit Merrifield is very underrated, but I would start Springer over him. I would bench Merrifield, and I would cut Soto. I mean, if you take out the playoffs, Soto isn't. I don't know.
Average at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd do the same.
I mean, he
got-
Merrifield
I agree. Yeah.
He was
consistently
only
gets
on-
hits, leads the league in hits.
He was
Soto
not
against great
consistent.
pitching in the playoffs was very good, but
Yeah.
I still like
But he wasn't like that all year.
I still like
Yeah, if
Springer's.
you can play like that all
yeah.
year,
He would definitely
he's
be
probably
fine.
gonna start for
I
me.
like
Yeah.
Springer
He is electric.
and Merrifield's consistency over him. So finally in the outfield, we got Jorge Soler, Joey Gallo, and Michael Conforto. We got 3 sluggers here, but I'm going to start Jorge Soler with 48 home runs last year. And this one might be a little surprising, even though Joey Gallo is a big name. I like Michael Conforto off the bench, and I would cut Joey Gallo.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yep.
a good one. That's
Yeah,
a really good one.
there's-
Joey
Gallo,
Gallo,
You can't really do
doesn't
much
do
other
anything.
than hit.
Yeah, he just hits bombs.
yeah. And Conforto did have 11 more home runs than him last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now we're going to move on to the mound. We got 3 starters. We got Jacob deGrom, Justin Verlander, and Garrett Cole. This one is very tough, but I think the best pitcher in baseball is Jacob deGrom, so I'm going to start him. I'm going to bench Garrett Cole, even though I think it's very close. And I'm going to cut Verlander, even though he's
I-
also very good.
I would start Cole, bench DeGrom, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
cut Verlander.
It's all
I
very
It's
it's,
close.
I'm going to
but
cut Verlander too.
I
He
feel
has
like-
a problem with getting ahead in the count.
it's all very
For
close.
sure.
Yeah, he's only getting better every year, but it's got to decline at some point.
Yeah,
I
he's,
mean,
he's,
and
he's
Jacob
getting up there
deGrom-
in age.
He's 37, so
Yeah, Jacob deGrom's still pretty young, 2 Cy Youngs.
that's true.
Yeah.
So now we got some other starting pitchers that I think are going to be the future of the league. On the mound, we got Jack Flaherty from the Cardinals, Mike Clevenger from the Indians, and Walker Buehler from Los Angeles. This one's tough, but I'm going to start Walker Buehler. I'm going to
Yeah.
bench Jack Flaherty, even though
Yep.
the beginning of last year was kind of shaky, but once he got to the All-Star break, he was
got much,
he was a maniac
Yeah,
on the mound.
crazy second half.
Much.
Yeah, crazy second half. And then Mike Clevenger, I would cut, even though I think him and Flaherty very close. I
Yes.
like.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
for sure.
I'm gonna bench Clevenger and cut Flaherty.
Yeah,
He had the second half, but
Yeah.
I just don't see him doing it again all year next year. Mike Clevenger, him and him and Bieber are going to be scary next year. They're
Not just
crazy.
next year, next
next 5 years, 10
5 years to come.
I think to me, Walker Buehler's kind of underlooked in the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I think he was
Very.
the best pitcher
He's
last
very-
year.
He was.
Yeah.
Just because, Kershaw is obviously very good, but
big name.
the big name does kind of overtake Walker Buehler's performance last year.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pride of Henry Clay High School really, I think, is one of the best pitchers in baseball.
That's right, baby. That's right. So now we're going to move into the bullpen. We got 3 closers. We got Josh Hader, Kirby Yates, and Adam Ottavino. This one is close for me too, but I'm going to start Yates. I'm going to bench Adam Ottavino, and I'm going to cut Josh Hader. I mean,
Yeah.
you look what Hader
Yeah.
was very good. He was solid throughout the season, but when he got to the playoffs, he just
Yeah, started going downhill.
Yeah, he's just
Very.
not as good as he's been. I just don't see him.
Yeah,
Getting back there.
definitely.
I'm
cut him.
gonna start Josh Hader. I think he gets a bad rep.
Oh.
Really?
Wow.
I think
he was good before.
Yeah,
You
No,
can't-
when he
you
got to
can't-
the 2018 season was very
postseason,
good.
but
you can't judge how Josh Hader did or how he's going to start falling off the map because he pitched one bad inning against Washington in the wild card. One bad inning happens to the best of pitchers. Cy Young, Nolan Ryan all had their bad games. That's what I think. I think he is
That's fair.
the
That's
most unhittable pitcher in baseball right now.
Whew, hot take.
It
yeah,
is.
Very.
fair. Relief pitcher,
Wow.
or pitcher.
I
in
think
general?
maybe just pitcher in general.
Or like
Ooh.
over
With-
the
With his slider and his overpowering fastball, I think so.
over to Grom and Cole.
Wow.
It's close, but I
Okay.
think it could. I think if
Now that's a
Josh
big
Hader,
hot take.
if Josh Hader throws strikes, he's one of the most unhittable
That's true.
pitchers.
Yeah,
He's
that
wild
is
at times.
true.
He is wild at times. Finally, we got some DHs. We got Yordan Alvarez from Houston, Nelson Cruz from Minnesota, and JD Martinez from the Red Sox. So I'm going to start JD Martinez. I'm going to bench Yordan Alvarez, even though, I think he's going to be very good come 5 years. And I'm going to cut Nelson Cruz. Just I like Alvarez over him.
I'm doing the same. Nelson Cruz had a crazy year, but
Yeah.
he's getting old.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be able to produce like he did.
Yeah, the
For
Twins
sure.
also did help him out last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That lineup was loaded and
Yeah.
it made him look a little bit more than I think he was.
And Alvarez, not the best average hitter, but he can put the ball out of the park whenever he wants.
That's true. He
For
was
sure.
very
Oh, yeah.
good for Houston last year. Alrighty, after the break, we're gonna finish Matt's segment called Douglas's Hot Take.
This is Douglas's Hot Takes, where every episode I deliver an unpopular sports opinion and we discuss it. This episode's hot take is the Mets would win over 95 games in a 162-game season. I believe this because their pitching staff, their depth, and their bullpen. Last year's main problem was injuries for the Mets, and I believe if they don't get injured, they'll win 95 games easy.
I'm gonna agree with you on this one, Matt. I think they have a top 5 starting pitching staff with DeGrom, Stroman, Syndergaard, even maybe Porcello in there.
Stroman, I don't know.
He's okay.
No, Stroman.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Stroman is a solid 3 or
Yeah.
4.
And
in
then-
rotation.
Yeah.
He's not a good 1 or 2, but 3 or
Yeah,
4,
he-
that's
I mean,
pretty
An
solid.
ace 3 or 4 years ago, and now
And
he's
he
in the
was.
3 or 4
When
spot.
you
He
add
was.
the veteran experience of Michael Wacha, that adds an extra.
Rick Porcello, also a former Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd say probably top 5 bullpen. Edwin Diaz, Seth Lugo, Dylan Betances, Familia. Got Justin Wilson in there. That's a
Yeah.
legit bullpen. And then you got Pete Alonso, who's hot off his rookie season.
Yeah, really young.
The Mets have a really overall average, or I should say a bit above average players. Another big problem for the Mets last year was their bullpen. They blew 13 saves last year, which is too much for any bullpen.
Yeah, they had a
And
Betances. So
They're
that's definitely helped.
yeah.
I feel like they'll be close, but they won't quite reach it. I feel like they'll be around 83 to 85.
If they didn't blow a single save last year, then they would have won 99 games. And
Well, I mean,
even-
saves will be blown.
Yeah.
so.
Even,
Yeah.
even if the Mets blew 4 less saves than they did last year, which isn't much, they still would reach that 95 win point.
Considering they were also in the division with the Championship Nationals and the Braves, as well as the Phillies, who had high expectation going into the year, but ultimately ended
The
up
thing
at
about the
500.
Nationals is they were well under 500 in the first half. They just
Yeah.
caught,
Oh,
they
yeah.
caught hot when
They got
it was
really
right.
hot.
I don't think they'll be consistently without Anthony Rendon.
No, losing Rendon.
I
that's
don't- I
big.
don't see
Yeah,
the
that's
Nationals
big. Really big.
repeat,
But
and
still-
I think the Braves will win the
The,
division.
the problem is the Braves, but I think the
Yeah.
Mets will. I think their pitching will overpower them, quite frankly.
yeah, I don't know. The Braves, young team.
It'll be close.
a lot of potential.
Braves and
At
Washington.
the end of the day, I still think the 2 teams that make it out of the division are the Braves and then the Mets. I think the Mets are going to get the wild card spot.
Yeah, Nationals won't do it again. Phillies might even.
I feel
beat
like the Nationals
out.
might barely sneak
I don't like
in.
the Phillies that much. I mean, I'm not sure how Didi will do there, but I think Bryce Harper is one of the most overrated players in
I agree
baseball.
with
But
you on that.
that's a topic for a different
He's
day.
not overrated.
That's a topic for a different day.
He's overpaid.
No, oh yeah.
Not
He's not
overrated.
overrated. He's overhyped.
He's the best player on
He's
that
overhyped.
team.
He is.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
he's-
saying much.
He's elite.
He's
I mean,
very
It
overpaid.
is. They're
Eh.
not. They're
I mean, they have the
still a
best. They have
good
the best
team.
catcher in baseball. Real
Yeah.
Mito.
That's true.
Yeah.
Not debatable.
But once again,
No, I don't think it is. at
the
all.
Mets have very elite starting pitching staff, and
Yeah.
I don't even no team in the NL East can compete with that. Not the Braves, not the Phillies,
Definitely
not
not
the
the Marlins.
Nationals.
Definitely not the
Marlins.
the
Oh, yeah, the
Marlins.
Marlins.
Way out.
We're not even.
They're
The Marlins
110. I
count?
think they might get
Do they
110
count?
this year.
Oof, I don't know. Yeah, they have that.
You
one
can
guy?
throw the Marlins in the KBO. Might as well.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows?
Mets
Maybe
also
Jose
played-
Fernandez will
Yeah,
tear 'em up.
Marlins
The
are
Mets
basically
also
a minor league team
played
at
the
time.
Reds a couple of times.
The Reds will be good next year.
I think it's at Reds at Cincinnati here.
Wow.
I
That's-
think-
That's a big home field advantage right there.
It's really gonna be. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for Mets fans to swallow. Anyways, they got Alonso coming off a year with 53 homers, even though Matt clearly isn't a big fan of Alonso.
I don't. Suarez is up there
He's getting
for
70
hitting
home
49
runs.
home runs.
Suarez,
He's underrated.
Suarez is hitting 70 home runs.
Matt-
next
Pete-
year.
Matt's gonna
No,
get a
no.
video in panoramic of him hitting
Pete
one deep.
Alonso is a very
Out of the stadium.
He's a very above average player. He's not a 50 home run per year hitter.
Well, he is.
Well, I mean, he's not
20
very
27. 27. He'll hit 27 home runs. He'll
50
produce
home runs. 50 home runs will put him at
80,
500
80
career
to 90.
for 10 years.
Can I talk? No, Pete Alonso, he'll be a consistent 20, 30 home runs, 80, 90 RBIs. He'll be a good 3-4
I
hitter for the
seriously
Mets.
don't see how he can go from 53 to 27, 26 like that.
Yeah.
I just don't see
There's
it.
no way that's
In a
gonna happen.
162 game season, I just don't see it.
That's getting a little off topic, but I
How
think,
is it off topic?
That's not off
Talk about
topic.
the Mets, bud.
Yeah, we're talking about the Mets, but we're not
He's on the
talking
Mets.
about Pete Alonso. We're talking
He's-
about
they have
he's
Pete
also
Alonso.
one of the Mets' best players.
he will help, but I don't
But he's not
going to
hit around 24 home runs, 24,
If he hits
27.
24
I
home
said
runs, they're not.
Oh no.
Well, they have enough.
They'll win
They have enough.
76,
They have enough
77.
solid players to pick up the slack and enough pitching.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think they will.
They have enough. Their pitching is so good and their bullpen is so good now.
You were just talking
but they
about
don't
how
have-
bad
they don't have
their
him
bullpen
hitting.
is.
But they rebuild.
They have to
They
put
don't have
runs
his,
on
they
the
don't have his
bullpen.
Okay,
hitting.
they did. They
They
did.
have
They
to
brought in
put
Betances.
runs on the
board. The
Betances is
Mets-
very solid.
Per game, the Mets need 2 runs, maybe 1 run, and they'll win.
If he
That's a
hits
hot
over
take.
40
Wow.
home runs,
I don't think
they
there's
got
any
95
teams
wins.
that are gonna win games with a 1 run, 2
No,
runs.
no.
they
What-
have
Their bullpen is just not that.
Do you
good.
think-
multiple
it's
Cy Young
possi-
contenders on their team.
Do you think it's possible they could get 100 wins? You think
100
they could
wins?
get
Yeah,
that
the
far?
Nationals also have a bunch of Cy Young candidates.
100 wins are
in the same division.
It's a stretch,
Yeah,
but
It's
do
a
you
stretch,
think
but
they could get it?
95.
Do you think they could get
95,
to 100?
If they play like they can, then it'll be really close.
If
If
Pete
he-
Alonso hits 24
Oh,
home
yeah.
runs, they're not winning
You
100
know,
games.
but
Tell you
if he
You're
hits at
taking-
least 48, they
you're-
will. They got.
You're twisting words out of my mouth.
I'm really
I said
not.
No, we're
27.
not.
I said 27
I'm
home
sorry.
runs.
Oh, sorry,
Plus
27.
three. Let's add-
It's a
let's-
big
let's
difference.
add
3
the-
runs.
What if
That's
those
3
What if
runs.
those are 3 grand slams?
After saying they need 2
What
runs
if
to
those
win.
grand slams?
Yeah, then that's 12 RBIs right there. Think about it.
That's a stretch.
Think about
That's
it.
a
That's
stretch.
good stuff right there, Matt.
Think about it.
Oh man.
I really
You
do
mean-
think
Even
that
Frodo at 33 home runs.
even if Pete Alonso doesn't play like he did this year, which I don't think will happen, I think there's enough.
But the Mets couldn't.
I think there's enough talent to pick up the slack, and there's enough pitching to keep them in ball games consistently every day.
But the Mets couldn't win with him hitting
their
50 home
their
runs.
pitching staff is
because their
very good.
bullpen blew 13 games.
So what's different about the bullpen
No,
now?
Blake,
They
Blake,
added-
Blake. They added Michael. They added Rick Porcello. I mean, he's gonna be all right for them.
Yeah.
They only had Stroman right before the trade deadline. Just didn't have him beginning of the year.
I
And then
believe they added Dylan Betances last year.
they
Or
added,
this year.
They added him
yeah.
this year in free agency.
And there's no way.
And
that they-
Diaz was
yeah.
hurt a lot last year.
Yeah. Ed lose Diaz. That'll change.
That's true.
That'll change to Edwin Diaz, like his real name.
That's his real name. That was good, man. That was good.
Meet the Mets.
We can ring the bell for that one.
That was a good one.
That was good, man.
Oh.
That was good.
Oh man, that was a classic. Actually, it was not that good.
No, I thought it was good.
I
was
thought it was
pretty
better
good. I
than
thought
the
it was
joke
good.
of the week, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot better than your joke. You got to get better at that.
Well, I'm sorry. I looked it up on a
We don't
website.
lose, we learn.
2 minutes. I was gonna do a non-sports related joke, and then
This is a sport.
This is
a
sports podcast.
Yeah,
This
this
it
is the
doesn't-
fourth inning
it
podcast where
doesn't-
4 friends talk about their well enough for sports, so we like to keep it
Well-
sports related here.
I'm not a robot
Let's
here.
not break down the fourth wall.
I'm not a stats.
We're
machine.
not
I
lovers
have
of pie.
personality. I'm allowed.
You and
to-
your pie jokes.
Well,
You want
that's
to
a
go ahead
good
and
joke.
tell him the pie joke?
Can I tell you
Yeah,
guys the
t-
pie
yeah,
joke?
tell us the
I'll
pie
tell you
joke.
pie joke.
Yeah, hold on.
Here we go. Come on, Matt.
Second joke of the week.
Let's hear it.
Okay,
What's What's up,
a
Matt?
pie costs $2 in Jamaica, right?
I couldn't tell you.
That same slice of pie
Yeah.
costs $3 in the Bahamas.
Couldn't tell you.
Wow.
How do we know that's true?
You may be wondering why I'm telling you this. I felt like the viewing audience should know the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
That was
Inspirational stuff.
that
there,
was
Matt
great.
Langford.
That was great.
Look at Curry, man.
How does
Look at Matt, man.
How does that relate to Jacob DeGrom's success next year, Matt? Please tell me.
Yeah.
Jacob DeGrom eats a lot of pie, and that could up his velocity 2 to 3 miles an hour.
No, with his grunt, that'll add 2 more.
Yes, actually, it is true. Grunting adds 3 to 5 miles an hour in your fastball.
true.
It's true.
Matt, who are some players that actually grunt on the mound? I mean, you know a few, don't you?
Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer
Trevor
does.
Bauer, yeah.
So does
Yeah,
Max
Trevor
Scher-
Bauer
Max
put a
Scherzer.
ball
Max
in-
Scherzer.
Max
You
Scherzer's
put a
one of
ball
them.
in center field.
Yeah, Trevor Bauer put a ball in center field without pitching.
Zach Greinke.
Zach
He's a
Greinke.
big grunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he brings it on the mound, doesn't he?
90, 85 to 90. It's like a pitcher from the 20s.
Except he's not.
Except he is not.
Yeah.
He's just like 95. And then his
Speaking
arms
of
is tied.
95 wins for the Mets next year.
95
Yes or
wins
no?
for the Mets. Yes.
Blake,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll make it. They'll be short.
I don't think.
No,
I think
they'll
around
get
90.
They'll get 90.
I think around 90.
I'm thinking 86, 87.
I think they're around 90.
Yeah.
I think they're 90 wins. Well, thank you all for listening to our first episode of the Fourth Inning Podcast. We all sincerely hope you tune in next week, and remember to get 4% better every day. See ya.